Hi, this is Amber with the Medicare Department of Healthcare Benefits. How are you today?
I actually don't have the. It's down. Oh, I got operator. What time? That's the.
The link you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I don't have it.
You just don't. Yeah,
You're sharing your screen, so.
okay,
Oh, yeah, here it is.
you got it.
Thank you. Why do we say the host is ended this time?
We're ready?
We could just. Good afternoon. We will now call the Beaufort County Board of Education agenda setting meeting of March 9, 2023 to order. This meeting is being conducted by a hybrid video conferencing and is being hosted at Hilton Head Island High School Media Center. This meeting is live streamed on the school board's YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/channel/UCOIR8U, then lowercase MUF6MF JJH3D uppercase WFP lowercase o uppercase XQ. All right, so we now need a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve today's agenda.
A second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion is approved. We will now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The media was properly notified. So our first order of business is the approval of the February 2023 committee meeting minutes.
Madam, I move that we approve the February 28 meeting minutes.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, the minutes are approved. Next, we have on our agenda setting the March 24 work session meeting agenda. And we have a draft agenda in front of us. So this will be, the meeting will be held at the district office media center at 2900 Boulevard. Public comments will be accepted between 8 and 8:30 that morning. And they will also could occur in person. So the meeting will start at 9. We have our usual. Whatever you want to say, agenda items to start, the approval of the agenda, pledge of allegiance, et cetera, public comments. So then we have listed several agenda items. And the most, I would say, pressing and largest presentation will be the presentation with Tom Crosby from the district, and then our consultants, Brian Nurick, our financial consultant, and Franny Heiser, our bond consultant. And the estimate is, Robin, you said 9-1, probably.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, we've got some, there's some things that we found out just last week, or this week. Tanya and I had a meeting with Maria Walls.
Tanya is on, she has her hands up.
Okay,
okay.
go ahead.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, very well. Go ahead.
Yes,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I do have sort of two separate agenda items, and the first would be actually a debt presentation. So it's and that would be given by Brian Nurick and Franny Heiser and myself. And then the second would be a budget presentation after the second agenda item would be a budget presentation that would be separate from Mr. Nurick, and Ms. Heiser will not be part of that discussion.
Okay, so all three of you for the debt? and
Yes,
Just you for the budget?
myself and my team, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so we can list it that way on the agenda. And
Yes, great.
you think 9-1 is a reasonable estimate of the length of the two presentations together?
I think that we could probably manage it by with a 3-hour time frame, probably by noon.
All right,
I think that would be a reasonable expectation there with an hour and a half for each. I
okay,
think
yeah,
that would be reasonable.
on the agenda, but just so we have, in planning purposes.
What I'm saying is we have a wrinkle
Okay.
that we found out when Tanya and I talked to Maria Walls, the county treasurer.
Mhm.
We are in a reassessment year right now. So our budget that we're planning is a budgeting for a reassessment year.
Yeah.
So that means,
Less revenue,
well,
right?
that means that we're gonna have a lot of discussion about how we are going to navigate the waters politically in a reassessment year. And since we don't have a fiscal autonomy, and the last time we went through reassessment years, we had a $9 million bogey.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some discussion, more discussion than normal about how to deal with that.
Well, this is, and I don't know, do you think that's an appropriate discussion in that same time?
It's going to have to be because the budget has two
Yeah,
parts. It has the
exactly.
revenue and it has the expenditure.
Yeah.
And so, but the revenue drives expenditure.
Yeah.
So, we're going to have a discussion about where is our drop dead mark
Yeah,
for millage. And how we can't accept it to go any lower. Because it goes then back to the debt issue.
yeah,
Because if we start having to expand the TAN, have a negative balance, and we're borrowing money, we might be able to fund the next referendum without a millage increase.
Mhm.
So it's interrelated.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's got to understand that. And we're going to have to start talking about that. Because we will have if we have from the county, we might have a significant issue.
Yeah.
Tanya wants-
Tanya, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add, yes, Mr. Guyer and I both met with the county treasurer last week and indicated that we are in a reassessment year. So as a result of that, I emailed the county audit assessor, which is Ebony Sanders, and requested that she come to do a brief presentation to the board on reassessment. I have not heard back from her. It's been about a day and a half. But I learned some information, had a session here at the conference I'm at on reassessment and rollback, and I can shed a little bit of light on that, give some information if she is unable to attend. I may be able to provide it anyway. I'll provide my information anyway during part of the budget presentation, but it would be really helpful if she would be present just to talk about what is a reassessment, what does it mean? And so I have not heard back yet. I didn't know if you wanted to put it on the agenda this evening and or leave it off
No,
until I get confirmation.
No, let's put a placeholder there.
Yes.
And you said you would be able to provide some insight if she is not to make this meeting. And you
Yes.
said Ebony Sanders, right?
Ebony Sanders, yes. Reassessment presentation.
Yeah, reassessment presentation. And that, do you think that with the debt and then budget, do you think she should come at the end of, after those two? Or where do you think that, how the order?
It's going to affect both.
Yeah,
So it might be something to be at the start,
well, that would be good because it would be a clear time to her come at 9,
You're right?
right? So what do you think?
I would put it in between the two. We learned today that rollback would not affect debt service millage. So that was what we were told. So I would put it in between the two, and then I can speak to both if I need to.
Okay. So then maybe we should add, you think maybe that would be then another 30 minutes or maybe we're getting back to the 4 hours?
Yes.
All right.
And that reassessment is one word
Yes,
with a lowercase a.
here, so if you don't get it right this second. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
And those 3 topics, no. That's,
That's gonna take up most of the day.
I agree.
Yeah.
Or at least a little.
That 9 to 1 is important
To 1, and then you've
Yes.
got to have at least a half an hour
for lunch.
lunch
So we
break.
break and come back and talk some more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right. So then, below that, we have, other topics that have already been, recommended. We can, as discussed earlier, we can remove the Sea Island Heritage Charter School application because, it can't be entertained at this time for the state. All right, then we have communication with communities. That was, Carlton.
Please put them.
Oh, maybe Candace would.
Yeah.
Candace would be the one to present that.
It will come out of her department because it's with the community,
Yeah.
community and her.
Candace has another item that she wants to add to this.
Well,
Yes.
yeah,
I don't know.
let's go through all these and then let's just, I'm not sure we can entertain all of this on,
All right.
on Friday. All right, so we have discussion of legislative bills. Is that would be similar to what we did in the legislative committee?
I think, and you all know,
Earl wanted to expand when you weren't here in that meeting. He wanted to expound on those 4 pieces of legislation that's currently going through right now.
Okay.
And he wanted more details and wanted everybody to know what was going on.
Okay,
and you all also have to discuss your legislative agenda. And I saw that when you had the meeting on the 29th, on the 28th,
yeah,
one of the hands she gave you, she had a suggestion for the legislative agenda. So I didn't know if you all wanted to affirm that up with that discussion,
Yes.
because
That
you
would
all
make
have,
sense.
because you have to vote on your agenda. So.
right.
Yes, that would make sense.
And to me, it seems like that should get a priority since we're
Mhm. Yeah.
halfway through the legislative session already.
Yes, yes.
So maybe that should.
And approval, discussion of legislative bill and approval of legislative agenda.
Yeah. And, make that the first thing after lunch? Sound good? Okay,
Yes.
so,
And you know, in actuality, the communication with the communities, can that be like the last thing
yeah,
that we
that
talk
would be,
about? 'Cause
try to do the heavyweight
Yeah.
stuff first.
Discussion of legislative bills and approval
Of legislative agenda. Or board's legislative agenda, right?
Mhm.
So we definitely need Lynn Stokes Murray, our lobbyist,
Okay.
participating. Remotely would be fine. And that might take an hour. I don't know. What do you think?
So we may have to wait on the guidance counselor update.
Yeah,
When is it for our next agenda,
Your next board meeting is April.
no,
next
work
work
session.
session?
Oh, that's a budget one.
that's
It's
work.
That's
Budget.
also budget too, and that is.
Have it here. You're just thinking in
It's
terms
in
of the
April.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because there might be a lot to discuss for that one. I think that one's gonna take some time.
Yeah, we have a full day budget work session on April 21. Look like we really have another kind of work session.
Mhm.
Well, maybe we can see if the superintendent, during his updates, maybe he can give us something during that time, like since.
A board meeting.
Yes,
At a
at
board
board
meeting,
meeting,
okay.
yeah, let's do that.
I think.
I agree with
Yes.
you because I just think there's.
Yes, yeah, no,
Yep.
so board meeting for that one.
For which guidance council one for
For
guidance?
that.
Okay,
First day of the board meeting.
Yeah, first April board meeting. April. We'll just let, okay, superintendent.
okay. We also have the new board docs platform, community training that we really need to do. So what, at the end?
You can do it at the end,
At the end, is that gonna be 30 minutes? Or?
About 30 minutes.
Okay, so we'll say,
Earl's hands up.
yep, hold on a second. We
Okay.
said the legislative was about an hour. Okay, go ahead, Earl.
You said the budget work session is on the 21st
Of April.
of April, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so right now we have all the budget stuff and the reassessment presentation before lunch. And then after lunch, the first thing will be the legislative presentations, bills and agenda.
Mhm.
All right, then the next thing would be, what's
So
the
that's
management by results?
That was Carlton's too.
Okay.
Yeah, we had said a work session, but that was his item.
Yeah,
It might not make it on this one. I think budget is gonna take up a lot of time,
I do too.
and the legislative part.
And maybe you can always call, schedule another meeting at another date.
Yeah, that's true. Uh-huh.
Yes,
So,
do that.
so do you think we should try to have the communication with communities? That would be something not as kind of heavy lifting, so to speak. I just think we need a little variety.
Yeah, that should go right before the donation, and it'll wrap everything up.
Right.
So sticking with Ingrid's request that anything that requires you all to vote on, or as you say, heavy lifting, are we getting it all done at the beginning? And not so leaving anything at the end of the
Trying
day.
to.
So that.
Yeah, that's what, exactly. And people are tired as time goes on.
Yeah.
All right, so after lunch, we said legislative.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Then this next thing will be, what did we just say?
New
The,
board docs
New
platform,
board doc. And then.
communication with communities.
communication with communities, okay,
Then the very last thing is the vote for the donation. That's-
right.
That's an easy one.
So board docs would be after legislative.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Communications and then donation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in that order, exactly. So I think management by results is going to be a major project to present.
Yeah, I was been thinking about that. That's how that's what our evaluation
I was
is
thinking,
for the.
Yeah.
Superintendent,
superintendent, that's your,
that,
that's it.
and we briefed the new board members about how the evaluation works. They saw the worksheet, talked about how it was done, and everything, and the metrics that are used. So I think we need a little more from Carl.
Carl, okay.
What he wants.
Where, before we assign it somewhere. Okay. All right,
Yeah, same with Rachel on her pre-K
yeah, okay.
kindergarten interface.
And is Ingrid on here?
She was, let me see,
Yes,
she.
her hand is up
Hiya.
too.
Hey,
I
Ingrid.
got my
Yeah,
hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Ingrid.
I was going to say two things. One, quickly, I do think we can put management by results into, I was going to have our first, probably not till after graduation, our first results committee meeting, and work on that over the summer. Because with all the budget and graduation stuff, I don't think we need to dig into that too much, but we could put that initially to have a conversation with Carlton, and figure out exactly, flush that out in that context, which I think would be fine. The second thing is, and I've had conversations with people about this, I continue to be concerned about the lack of discussion we're having about projects coming into a referendum. So I know the budget, these are kind of work session type things, but I would like to have some sort of a discussion before we get too far into the budget and into the referendum planning about, are we just going to, are there any new ideas? Or how are we structuring some of the teachers? There's some things that we might be able to do before we really set up the referendum. And I guess I would frame it in sort of like an, innovative ideas or, hey guys, it's 2023. Do we have any new ideas that we want to look at kind of conversation? I don't know how to phrase it. And I don't think we have room on this work session, but I feel like we need to have that before we get into the summer.
Robin.
Can we put it on this and move communications and communities to another, does it have to be on the work session? And since the referendum budget thing is a budget item and the next meeting in a work session is a budget,
Yeah, this might be a good place to have
this
it.
should be the place that we should get all the budget stuff on.
Now that I think did that about that this time. on
Right,
The last
we-
referendum.
Yeah.
We did, we put all the,
Yeah. To give the committee a little more guidance about what we're thinking too.
So what should your topic be?
Yeah, it's about 6 paragraphs. So if you want to, what I am observing is, we're post-COVID, so there's a lot more virtual school. We are certainly, from when my older two graduated, the last one graduated in 2019 to now, we have a lot more dual enrollment going on, school choice issues where there's a lot of school choice north of Broad. There's 0 school choice south of Broad because of capacity. So I guess what I'm seeing other districts doing is there's some pilot programs, maybe magnet schools. Are we going to continue with dual enrollment? These kinds of things. And I don't know how to frame that conversation, but I want to know what the rest of the board's thinking about that because I have my own ideas. But what I don't want to do is get to be like August and all of a sudden there's like, well, we don't have time to talk about it. So let's just do whatever, CRPC or whatever it is, 2.0 put out. You know what I mean? I want to have those like higher level discussions about, and my focus is more concentrated in like high school. So it could be a high school curriculum question, like with Kate and arts and STEM. But I do think it would definitely tie into the referendum. So we could say innovative delivery of education models, which, it's not my favorite way of saying things, kind of jargony, but I don't have a succinct way of saying it.
where do you want to put that?
Well, that's good.
Well, it seems like maybe that should be then. Well, do you want to have that before the legislative, but we got to vote on the legislative stuff, so I think that should be first
It
thing.
can
after-
definitely be after legislative, because I think it'll be an interesting discussion and it's not going to need action. It's just sort of,
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
It kind of needs to be free-flowing
Right.
brainstorming
yeah.
session.
Say that again, innovative.
Delivery.
Innovative education delivery models, innovative.
Education. Delivery models. Okay.
And do you want to limit it to high school? It seems like that's,
I
or
think that's
focus on high school.
Yeah, focus, sorry.
Zach, did you finish, Ingrid?
Yeah, sorry. My, as you know, I'm not going to be there because I've got this nose thing going on. So, excuse me. I think focus on high school would be fine. I don't think it has to be focused on high school, but I think that's where there's more opportunities to talk about this kind of stuff.
William?
Then education delivery models
Education delivery models.
in high school.
Or just say with focus on high school. We could just put that in parentheses. That doesn't limit it to high schools. Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am. I do agree with her in some of that, and also I just wanted to remind everyone that we also we did used to we also do have work sessions on Fridays and Saturdays if need be. That you know that I believe that we may have enough for a 2-day work session there. Not having to take anything off the agenda, but also I do agree with Ms. Boatwright also on the conversation around those talking points that she talked about as well. I think it's beyond just to high school. I think there's some middle school and elementary school conversations as well as in terms of need versus want that may need to be discussed as well in terms of even coaches and some other things and how we plan to keep those positions in place and other positions that will be coming up that will not be on the that will not have access to the money that we have right now. So I think that pre-planning and how we're looking to do all that, I think that those are important conversations that also would go under the same topic. So I think there's a host of things that that should be discussed at that meeting.
Okay, thank you. So what is the officers?
Well, that's going to be talked about. We've been talking about referendum. He's talking about budget and positions. I heard coaches
Yeah.
and other things like that. And that's definitely going to be in the budget discussion
Right. Right,
during the morning.
yeah,
Because we budget by position.
exactly.
And so that's where that will fall in. But the referendum that Ingrid's talking about, we're talking hardware. We're talking hardware, software kind of things. That,
Technology,
Programs, right?
programs, buildings.
Building, yeah.
right.
All right, so it's Mr. Smith?
And so I do understand that we're talking buildings, but also in the notion of buildings, there are also still other buildings that need to have different challenges as well at the middle and high school level as well. So I don't think that challenge that they're saying just the high school would be enough to touch. So I don't want to limit it to, if we could leave that open, if we could have that discretion versus saying just high schools and what we want to discuss. I think all schools.
Not listed as high schools, sir.
Well, I just heard someone say, and I'm not sure let's just focus on high schools. And my point is, I just think that there's more than high schools that need to be focused on, and some of those, even in those technology things that we're talking about. Because you talk about you have certain programs.
Loud and clear, and Ms. Boatwright, she herself said with the major focus on high schools, but not eliminate the others. We weren't saying eliminate anything. So maybe there's a misunderstanding. Okay, we got it. So
I said eliminate. I said
we all have the floor now. The officers, I've called on them. So fellow officers. So now the order this is after lunch, discussion of legislative bills. Number 2 is that new board doc platform. And then 3 could be this one, the education innovative delivery models.
Mhm.
And number 4 would still be the donation.
Donation.
Okay,
So under discussion of legislative move Word doc platform up.
no, have the legislative thing immediately after lunch.
Right. I have,
And then the board docs we did have next.
You see how
Okay.
she has it? It's
Oh,
on
I'm
your
sorry.
screen? Yeah, look
I
at
was
how she
looking-
has. No, that's okay. No, look at
Thank
what she
you.
has listed, because she's been typing.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so you put, yeah, that would be fine, innovative second.
Yes, that's.
After lunch, and then the new board docs platform. Now, communication with communities, I don't think we can do
do
all
that,
that.
okay.
And that might be a board meeting topic.
Yeah,
I think
Yes.
it could be done in
That-
board meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
First board meeting in April. You know, we're gonna have the guidance talk about that, guidance talk that night, let's just go ahead and do that.
All right. So that was, yeah, on here, the BOE, meeting in April.
Okay.
All right, do we have, I mean, that's, do we
That's
have
it.
anything else? Okay. All right,
Good. It'll be a full day.
that will be.
Yes.
So next would be, when is our next, agenda setting meeting?
So our next meeting is April.
My hand's back up.
Just a minute, please.
Our next meeting would be April 4th.
Mhm.
So we would have agenda setting March 27th.
March 27.
And we do 5 o'clock
At 5 o'clock.
and, your preference, remote, in-person, hybrid, or? Yeah. I'm fine with remotes a little easier for
Yes,
me too.
Yes,
Since we're working in the afternoon.
and our agenda setting meetings don't last that long.
No, okay, all right, so we'll put that,
March 27.
yeah, which is a Monday
And we're gonna do it.
at 5 p.m. Zoom.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Also, I believe that we said that we were gonna have a presentation by the guidance counselors.
No, we already,
Put that on the.
We put
we put that on the
April.
April board meeting.
Oh, okay, no, and, okay, I just thought that at the board meeting that we put it on the work session and, okay. And then also,
That
I
it
should-
works.
I remind board officers that we still have Saturday too as our work session day. That we still have to have, work session, because I think there's a lot of things that are coming up that we probably should be utilizing both days.
Mr. Smith, a second day, work session day is not on the calendar that we approved. If for some reason we go over, then automatically we meet the next day. In addition, for the guidance counselor, I made the suggestion for the guidance counselor presentation to be done in that first board meeting in April, because we have a lot of budget discussions. I don't know if you heard what Tanya said, right? I don't know if you were on when Tanya was on, but there's a lot of things that we need to discuss about the budget. Because we're in a reinstatement year, reassessment year. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds very serious. And so I would not be surprised if we go until the 4 or 5 o'clock, because budget's gonna take that long to discuss.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, do we have any other, business for the agenda setting? Okay, so we will adjourn by unanimous consent. Aye.
All right.